I used to think that the making of gowns was a tedious process. It looks so intimidating, but after I've done several gowns so far, I think this is my 4th gown or the 5th. So after the several gowns that I've done so far, I don't really think it's that much of work. All you need to know is how to make a top and a maxi skirt, and you're set. You're set to making a gown. So in this tutorial, I'll bring you how to make this gown. I used the simple half double crochet stitch, and then for the mesh area I used the triple crochet. Welcome back to Ladenser Crochets, and let's get into the tutorial. To work this gown, we start by working this top, and the link to the top is in the description box, so go on, watch the tutorial to the top, make the top, and then once you're done with making the top, we're going to extend it into a gown. So I already have my top ready, and now I'm going to show you how to convert this into a gown. Make sure you're working from the right side of your work and get your yarn, then start with a slip knot, and you're going to start from one edge of the top. In the first row of edging, we do a slip stitch to connect the yarn. So slip stitch, then we chain 1. That was a single crochet edging. So into that row, we're going to place a single crochet. Into the next row, which is a single crochet row still, we're going to place 1 single crochet. In the next row, we place 1 single crochet. The row that follows is a half double crochet row, and that row will get 2 single crochets, 1 and 2 into the same row. Then the next row, which is also a half double crochet row, will get 1 single crochet. The next one will get 2 single crochets. So notice that as I go, I'm working over my ends. Now let me remove the black end because I want to weave it on the side where we have the black yarn. So it doesn't look so good on that side because it's all white. So I just removed it, and then I'll go on and work 2 single crochets into the next row. 1 single crochet in the row that follows. 2 single crochets next. Then next we have 1 single crochet, and we're going to repeat that all the way to the end. So we're going to alternate between 1 single crochet and 2 single crochets in the half double crochet rows. So keep going, and I'll meet you at the end. At the end, all the single crochet rows should get 1 single crochet each. So there are 3 single crochet rows, so I'll have 3 single crochets at the very end. So now I'm working my last single crochet in that last row, and I'm done with that first row of below the top. Now we're ready to extend this and make a round, but then before that we're going to measure that the length at the bottom part of the top while stretching a little bit. So when I measure this, it's getting me to around 27 inches and I want to make an extension in order to get to 30 inches, which is my waist measurement. But then I don't want my dress to be too tight, so when I'm measuring, I'll not stretch my work too much. So now I'm going to chain until I get to the 30 inches now. So I'm going to chain for 3 inches because I already have 27. So I've chained 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10, 11. So then I'm going to measure and see how many inches that is, and that gives me 4 inches. So that will get me to 31 inches. And like I mentioned, I don't want my dress too tight, so I'll work with the 4. So that instead of having 30 inches on the waist, I'll have 31. Then I'm going to connect the chain to the first stitch that I did after connecting the yarn. And now this becomes a round. Then I'll chain 1 and cut off the yarn at that point. Pull through and fasten. Now we have that round, and now we can start working our skirt. First, I'm going to measure this to confirm the measurements. While stretching a little bit, it's folded into 2. It's getting me to 15.5, which is 31. And that's what I'll work with. Next, we identify the middle stitch of the chain that we've done. I did a chain of 11, so the middle stitch will be the 6th stitch. So make sure that when you're chaining, your chain is an odd number so that you're able to get the middle stitch. Once you get it, we're going to begin from there. So insert the hook into the middle stitch. For example, if you've chained 15, your middle stitch will be 8. So insert your hook there and slip stitch. Get the yarn and slip stitch to connect it. Then we're going to chain 1, yarn over, and go back into that chain with a half double crochet. As we do that, we work over the end. Then we're going to yarn over, go into the next chain with a half double crochet. The next chain gets a half double crochet, and I'm going to have a total of 6 half double crochets before I can get to the top part. So I'm working the 4th half double crochet, then we have the 5th, and finally we have the 6th. Then I'll get to the stitches, and into that stitch I'll work half double crochet, and then I'm going to place 1 half double crochet into all the stitches all the way around until I get to the chain. Then when I get to the chain, I'll place 1 half double crochet into each of the chains. So keep going all the way around. I'll meet you at the end. We get to the chains and place 1 half double crochet into each of the chains, and as I do that, I'll work over that end that is over there so that I reduce the number of ends that need to be weaved in at the end of the work. So just work 1 half double crochet into each of the chains to the end. I'm in the last chain and I'm placing my last half double crochet there. Then to complete that row, I'll slip stitch on top of the first half double crochet that I did. So do a slip stitch chain 1 and turn to begin. Now this will be row 2 of the skirt part of our gown. So row 2. Now to begin row 2, we begin in the second stitch. So we'll work the first stitch when we come to the end. Instead of working it on both sides, we'll work it on one side. So starting the second stitch, place a half double crochet. Then we're going to place one half double crochet into all the stitches in row 2. So this should be simple. I just go on, complete my row 2, then come back and show you how to do row 3. I'm at the end of row 2. In the last stitch, I'll place my half double crochet. The last stitch is the very first stitch that I skipped. Then slip stitch on top of the first half double crochet, chain 1 and turn. When we turn, we're going to begin row 3 in the second stitch, and we're going to work the first stitch when we come to the end. So row 3 is the same as row 2. We're just placing one half double crochet into every stitch up to the end. I'm coming to the end of row 3, as you can see, and now I'm working my last stitch into that very first stitch that I skipped. Then I'll do a slip stitch into the first half double crochet that I did, chain 1. And now to begin row 4, we need to start increasing in order to get to our hip measurements. So at this point, we're going to get stitch markers. Then this is the front part of my top. I'm going to fold this top like this, such that I'm aligning the two ends of the top. Then I'll mark this edge. So you want to make sure that you get the exact middle of the top at the front and the exact middle at the back. Align the two like this. Just watch what I'm doing. And then once those two are aligned, you're going to get the ends where you're going to increase. So align them, and then on one edge mark the stitch on that side. So place a stitch marker on that stitch on one side. Then I'll get the stitch marker that is in the middle. Make sure that the work is well aligned, and then I'm going to mark the other side. And those two sides will be the points of increase in order to get to the hip measurements. Next, I'll turn my work to the back where the last stitch was, so that I can begin working row 4. And row 4 is going to be an increase row. I've already chained 1, so I'll turn. When I turn, I'll place my first half double crochet into the second stitch like I've been doing with the other rows. So beginning in the second stitch, do one half double crochet, then one half double crochet into all the stitches until I get to the stitch marker. I'm at the stitch marker, and so I'll take it out, and into that stitch I'll do 3 half double crochets. 1, then we have 2 and 3. Then I'll get the stitch marker and mark the second stitch or the middle stitch at that point of increase. Mark it, and then in the next stitch I'll do 1 half double crochet. Then I'm going to place 1 half double crochet into all the stitches until I get to the next stitch marker. I'm at the stitch marker, so I'll take it out, and do a total of 3 half double crochets into that stitch. 1, 2, and 3. Then I'll get the stitch marker and mark the middle stitch or the second stitch in that point of increase. Then all the remaining stitches to the end of the row will get just 1 half double crochet. So I'll meet you at the end. I'm at the end of row 4. I'm working my last stitch in that very first stitch, then slip stitch on top of the first half double crochet, chain 1, and turn to begin row 5. Because we've increased in row 4, we're not going to increase in row 5, so we're going to place 1 half double crochet into all the stitches in row 5. When we get to the points where the stitch markers are, we're just going to take them out, place a half double crochet, just 1 half double crochet in that stitch, and continue to the end. So let me get there and show you. I'm at that first stitch marker, so I'll just take it out, and into that stitch I'll do just 1 half double crochet. Then get the stitch marker and continue marking that stitch. And then after marking that stitch, we're going to continue into the next stitch with 1 half double crochet. When we get to the second stitch marker, we do the same thing. At the second stitch marker, take out the stitch marker and place 1 half double crochet into that stitch. Get the stitch marker and mark that stitch. Then continue with 1 half double crochet into each of the stitches. At the end, I'll work the last stitch, then slip stitch. In the first stitch, chain 1 and turn to begin row 6. And row 6 is going to be an increased row, just like we did in row 4. So we begin in the second stitch, place 1 half double crochet, and then when we get to the stitch markers, we increase. I'm at that first stitch marker, so I'll take it out and then do 3 half double crochets into that stitch. So that will be 1, 2, and 3. Get the stitch marker and mark the middle stitch at that point of increase. That is the second stitch. Mark it, and then 1 half double crochet into the stitch that follows, then 1 half double crochet until we get to the next stitch marker. At that stitch marker, take it out and place 3 half double crochets. So that will be 1, 2, and 3. Get the stitch marker and mark your middle stitch. Then continue with 1 half double crochet into every stitch to the end. At the end, do your last stitch and then slip stitch onto that first half double crochet, chain 1 and turn to begin row 7. Row 7 is going to be the same as row 5, just 1 half double crochet in every stitch, and make sure that you mark the spot where we have the stitch markers, but do not increase. So now I'll go on, do row 7, then after that I'll do row 8, and row 8 is going to have an increase. Row 9 will not have an increase. Row 10 will have an increase, and so on. And I'm going to continue alternating between these two rows until I get to my hip measurements when slightly stretched. My hip measurement is 45, so I want to work until I get 22.5 because the dress is folded into 2. So when I get to 22.5, while stretching slightly, I'll have gotten to my hip measurement. Now, if you're working a hip measurement of say 40, you need to work until you get to 20. If you're working a hip measurement of 50, you need to work till you get to 25. Alternate the two rows. One row of increase, one row with no increase. So let me do that and then come back once I've gotten to my hip measurements. This is how my work looks like after I've gotten to my hip measurements, and I've done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8, that is 16. So my last increase was in the 16th row, and I'm going to measure this to see whether I'll get to the hip measurement. So just measure while stretching a little bit, and that gets me to 23. I wanted to get to 22.5, so I'm going to work with the 23. And now I don't need the stitch markers anymore, so I'll just remove them and put them aside. Then from here, I'll be working just one stitch, 1 half double crochet into all the stitches, no increase, just 1 half double crochet rows. So from the first stitch, I'll do 1 half double crochet, then I'll do the next half double crochet, and I'm going to do 1 half double crochet into all the stitches around. So this is my row 17. I'm going to work row 17, 18, 19, and 20 without an increase at any point, just one stitch in every stitch. You can continue from here until you get to the length of your dress, because we are done increasing, or you can do the pattern that I want to work. So I'll work the 20 rows, then after the 20 rows, I'll come back and show you how I'm going to work differently. So let me do the 17th row, 18th, 19th, and 20. So 4 more rows, then I come back. I'm at the end of the 20th row, so I'll do the slip stitch into the first stitch, then I'll chain 1 and cut off the yarn at that point. So cut off the yarn, pull through, and fasten. Then I'll turn my dress like this, and this is how far along I am right now. This is the back part of my dress, the gown, and it's looking pretty. I'm loving how it's turning out, and this is the front part, as you can see. So next I'll mix the black and white and work them together. I just want to have something different, so get your black and white yarn. Okay, I'm getting my black and white yarn, and now I'm at a length of, let's see, the full length of my dress so far, it's at 21 inches, and I'm working a maxi dress. So I'll go all the way to about a length of 54 inches. With my black and white yarn, I'll just turn my work to the side where the stitches are visible. Then I'll get the very first stitch and start, oh no, I'll not start with a slip knot. I'll just go to the first stitch, insert the hook right there, and slip stitch the yarn. Then I'm going to chain 1, then work over the ends, chain 1, yarn over, go into that stitch with 1/2 double crochet, then into the next stitch we're going to do 1/2 double crochet, 1/2 double crochet into the next, and we're going to place 1/2 double crochet all the way around. So this is my row 21, and it's just going to be a row of 1/2 double crochet into every stitch. Now with these 2 yarns joined together, I'm going to do a total of 30 rows. After the 30 rows, I'll be back, and from there I'll do something else different. I'm done with my 30 rows, and from here I've already chained 1 and cut off the yarn. Then I'm just counting to confirm the number of rows, and this should give me the 30 rows. Then we need to mark a point. I want to have a slit at the front part of my dress. So now I've already counted and marked a point where I'm going to have my slit. I want my slit to be on my right leg, and therefore I've counted a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, and 22. So actually it should be 21. I'm on the 21st stitch. If you want it to be on your left leg, you're going to count 21 stitches on the other side and mark a point right there. So I've already marked my point where I want the slit to be. So now I'll just turn my work and connect. I'm going to work with the plain black yarn now. So I'm going to connect the black yarn right there, and I'm going to start with a slip knot. Then at that point where we have the stitch marker, that's where I'll slip stitch and connect the yarn. Then remove the stitch marker because I'm not going to be needing it anymore. So slip stitch to connect the yarn. Sorry, let me go back there and do the slip stitch. Just like that. Then chain 5, and the chain 5 will be a triple crochet plus a chain in between. So I'm not going to work over that end, I'll just weave it in later. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, it should be 5. So I'll add one more chain. Sorry, so add one more chain, then yarn over. So those are 5. Now yarn over twice, skip a stitch, work into the next one, yarn over and pull up a loop. Then we're going to yarn over and pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through the remaining 2. That's a triple crochet. So then we're going to chain 1, go over the hook 2 times, that is yarning over twice, skip a stitch, work into the next one, insert the hook, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. And we're going to have a chain 1 again, yarn over twice, skip, triple crochet. So that is yarn over twice, skip, pull through 2, pull through 2, and pull through 2, chain 1. I hope I'm not confusing you. So we yarn over twice again and do a triple crochet after skipping. And this is a pattern that we're going to repeat to the end of this row. This is my row 51 because I've worked 20 rows with white and then 30 rows with the black and white. So I'm in row 51. Then I'll just continue with this mesh row with the triple crochet. You can work with double crochets if you don't want the triple crochet. So keep going all the way around and I'll meet you at the end. I'm coming to the end of my row 51 and I'm just working the triple crochets separated by a chain and a skipped stitch. So at the end I have another triple crochet right there. Then once I'm done with this triple crochet, I do not have a stitch to skip, but then I'll chain one and go straight into that very first stitch where we did the first triple crochet and place a triple crochet. So you need to make sure that your last stitch will be a triple crochet. Even when you do not have a stitch to skip, just chain one and work it into the last stitch. And we're not connecting that row, we're just going to chain 4 and turn because we want to create the slit. After turning, we begin into the chain 1 space. We've chained 4 in this second row, so we're going to yarn over twice. Into the chain 1 space we place a triple crochet, then without chaining we yarn over twice again, yarn over twice. Into the triple crochet we place a triple crochet, again we yarn over twice. Into the chain 1 space we place a triple crochet, yarn over again twice, then place a triple crochet onto the previous triple crochet, then yarn over twice, a triple crochet into the chain 1 space. This should be simple, and that is what we're going to repeat to the end of row 2 of this part, which is my row 62. So keep going with 1 triple crochet in every stitch, including the chain 1 spaces, till you get to the end, and I'll meet you at the end so that we can do the third row or the 63rd row. I'm coming to the end of row 2. Let's just call it row 2. So I'm working my stitches with 1 triple crochet, and right here I have the last gap. So into that gap I'll do a triple crochet, then the last triple crochet will be on the chain 4. So count 4 chains, insert your hook into the 4th chain and do a triple crochet right there. And there we are done with row 2. Then we're going to chain 5, 1 2 3 4 and 5, and turn to begin row 3. We begin row 3 after skipping the second stitch, so yarn over twice and skip the second stitch, then work into the third, do a triple crochet right there, then chain 1, yarn over twice, skip, do a triple crochet into the next stitch, then we chain 1 and yarn over twice and skip. So yarn over twice, skip, triple crochet, and continue to the end. Just chain 1 and do a triple crochet after skipping a stitch. To complete row 3, we chain 1, then the last triple crochet will be in that chain 4 at the beginning of the previous row, and that is what we have now. Then we're going to chain 4, 1 2 3 and 4, and turn to begin row 4, and row 4 will be the same as row 2. So we yarn over twice and work into the chain one space. We work a triple crochet into the space. Then we work a triple crochet on top of the previous triple crochet. And then next we work into the space, place a triple crochet there, and then repeat till you get to the end. So now we're going to alternate between two rows, that is row 2 and row 3. So after I'm done with row 5, I'll work row 6, which will be the same. After I'm done with row 4, I'll work row 5, which is the same as row 3. And that means all the odd rows are worked the same, all the even rows are worked the same. And this is the pattern that we'll keep on repeating and alternating the two rows till we get to the full length of the dress. Let me work my rows and I'll tell you how many rows I'll have worked in order to get to my full length. I've done a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14. 14 times 2, 28 rows in order to get to the full length of my gown. And at this point, I'm done. So I've just chained one at the end and cut off the yarn. You need to make sure that your last row is a row of triple crochets, that is without the chains in between. Then you're going to have a strap at the back part of your top. That is already in the top, so you know how to create the chain. So I'll create my chain and attach it at the back. And now I'm done with my gown. And this is how it looks. Totally amazing, right? I hope you enjoyed making this one, or at least watching it before you get to the making. I've done my strap and I'm just going to attach it at the back part of the top where I'd created the loops or the holes for the strap. And once I'm done with the strap, I'll be done with my gown, completely done. So then I'll go on weaving all the ends that I have. And then, yeah, thank you so much for watching the tutorial. If you've enjoyed it, leave a like, a comment, share, subscribe if you're not subscribed. And if you get to recreate this, kindly don't forget to tag me. I love to see your work, so don't forget to tag me and I'll be reposting your work on my social media pages. See you in the next one.